Good evening, folks, and welcome to Mansfield Town News and Views. As always, we've got plenty to talk about tonight. We're going to be talking about the Salford game, looking at Forest Green Rovers, and then later on, we're going to be giving our thoughts on where Mansfield's going to finish at the end of the season. So, as always, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. For anyone that's first tuned into the podcast, thanks for tuning into it. This is the show where everyone gets to have their say on everything MTFC. So, as always, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. First comment of the night, Chris. Evening, hope you're well. Yeah, all good, thanks, Chris. Hope you're good yourself, mate. Thanks for supporting the page. Really appreciate that, mate. Well, I don't know where else to start other than talking about the Salford game. You know, ultimately, I'd say it pretty much killed off all the automatic hopes that we did have a couple of weeks ago. I think it's fair to say. The game itself, in my opinion, was a really frustrating one because had we not made the mistakes, then, you know, we could just be talking about potentially going up automatically. But it's just frustrating because, same again, it's just bad defending. That's cost us again, essentially. You know, both goals that we conceded against Salford, just, like I say, just really poor defending, to be honest. So, yeah, it's just really frustrating stuff. But anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts on the Salford game in the comments below. Let's get down to some more of your comments. Good evening, Tim. Unfortunately, playoffs. Yeah, it's looking like that way. But saying that, though, we've still got to at least get a point, I think, to guarantee that. But knowing Nigel, we'll try and get all 3 points. So, yeah, listen, I think, yeah, it's obviously frustrating with how the Salford game went, really, because, again, we did have chances to win the game, especially in the second half, and we did we did look dangerous going forward, and, yeah, it's a frustrating one, to be fair. I think they should have been down to 10 men, Salford, as well. I think that Matty Lund was really lucky to stay on the pitch, because I don't know how the referee didn't see that stamp on Longstaff. I don't understand how he didn't see it. I mean, the referee was clearly seeing it, but he never gave him anything for that. So frustrating that from that point of view. But, you know, it's just kind of what we've been used to in it, really, this season. Poor officiating, that's cost us a lot of points this season. Now, I don't want to talk too much about referees, but it's decisions like that can really change a team season. But yeah, obviously it was a chance that we had to go up automatically, but, you know, it's looking like it's playoffs for us. So the season's not finished yet, you know, and if we can get something from Forest Green on Saturday, then you know we've still got a chance in the playoffs. I know it's anyone's game, but I don't think any of us could have seen us being in the playoffs this season, especially with how we started the season. So, and this still could be a good season for us. So, you know, we've just got to take each game as it comes and see what happens. So it's still all to play for. Yeah, it's disappointing we didn't go up automatically. That's what we wanted. It was in our hands and we essentially blown it. Let's be honest, we did blow it. You know, let's not make no mistake about it. But we're still in the mix, and if we beat Forest Green or get a point from them this weekend, then we'll be in the playoffs. So still all to play for, guys. So the season's not finished yet from our point of view. But, you know, anything can happen in the last game of the season, so it's going to be interesting stuff for sure. Let's get down to some more of your comments, guys. Chris, wow, final day of the season this weekend. Gone quick this season. It really has, Chris. It's been a season where it's been like the most competitive League Two season I think any of us have seen for quite a few years. I think it's fair to say, you know, and we have come a long way. We have come a long way this season, to be fair. So I'm quite proud of the lads from where we was a few months ago, from being nearly from second from bottom to competing. Is an amazing turnaround, and yeah, I know it's disappointing that we did miss out on that automatic spot, but, you know, it's one of them. We've still got a chance to try and, you know, do something in the playoffs should we make them. You know, so the season's not finished. You know, there's still so much to play for. There is, and hopefully we can go into that full of confidence. Really. Let's have a look. Chris, At least it's another season of failure for Salford, who have yet another league in League Two. It's too funny. Yeah, true. That's the only silver lining from it, to be honest. But I couldn't really care less about any other team. But I see what you're saying. It's always good to see Salford not make it with all the money they put into the club. But I was just too gutted after the game, Chris, like every other Mansfield fan. You know, we had the chance to go up automatically, and it's frustrating. But from that point of view, yeah, it was it was something to laugh at. But yeah, it's just frustrating when you come so close and then you just don't seem to make it over the line. And the thing what annoyed us as well is Port Vale lost their game, so Newport actually did us a favour by beating Port Vale. It was just from our point of view, we just couldn't capitalise on it. So the results went for us, and obviously the day before Exeter drew with Northampton, so the results went our way. And all we had to do was beat Salford, and we would have been in the shout this weekend of going up automatically. And that's what makes it more frustrating, because other teams mess up, and then it's your team that has to try and capitalise on that. And when you don't, it makes it even more frustrating. So, yeah, in the space of 3 days, we could have been up there, but unfortunately, not to be. It wasn't to be. But like I say, we had chances in the second half, as well as in the first, to try and get more goals, and that's what makes it more frustrating. But that's football for you, isn't it? It goes either way, sadly, and here we are still. But like I say, the season's not over yet, and we've still got a big game ahead of us this weekend against Forest Green, where hopefully we'll pick up 3 more points to end the season on a high going into the playoffs. Because that's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to enter the playoffs in bad form. So hopefully we can carry that unbeaten run going into the playoffs should we make them, and by beating Forest Green, top of the league, would be massive for us. So let's hope we can do that. Let's get down to some more of your comments, guys. Thanks for those that's commented and tuning in to watch me. Appreciate that. I'm just getting down to some of your comments, as you can tell. Let's have a look. Evening, Neil. We've had no luck to have refs for weeks. No, we haven't, Neil. There's been so many instances this season where the referees have made so many bad calls. I mean, even back in the first part of the season, Colchester away, that last-minute penalty, that shouldn't have ever been a penalty in a million years. That was one. Obviously, the Carlisle game a couple of weeks ago when the ball went over the line, another decision went against us. And even recently against Salford, like I say, with Matty Lund, when he stamped on Matty Longstaff's foot, how the referee didn't see that as a red card offence, I'll never know. But here we are again, with officials again, just absolutely poor standard. Just shocking. But, it is what it is, isn't it? League Two referees, like we keep saying, they just get worse. But just how it goes sometimes, though, isn't it? And you've just got to try and, still create something from it, though. Let's have a look. Evening, Danny. Slim chance of automatic on Saturday, but at the end of the day, I'm proud of the lads with the season we've had. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Not many people that at the time last year would have thought we'd be in this situation. And, like I say, when you look at how far we've come under Nigel in this first full season, it's a great transformation. And to see us competing at this stage of the season, I don't think many fans would have seen. I think after the Northampton game, when we lost 2-0 with the worst performance of the season, and to come from that to where we are now is amazing. So yeah, and like I say, I get the frustration because we did have it in our hands and we did blow it. But at the same time, though, we can't be too down about it. We've just got to get on with it and just try as we can to get in the playoffs and see what happens, really. Because to be honest with you, I don't really fear any team in the playoffs, if I'm being honest with you. No disrespect to the other teams in and around us, but I think with the players that we have got and the manager we've got, there's no reason why we can't go far in the playoffs, in my opinion. Yes, we have made mistakes, but if we do cut out the mistakes and if we can take our chances, then I don't see why we can't go far in the playoffs, personally. We've got the players for it. So, I think we stand a great chance, personally. I do. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's just focus on Forest Green at the minute this weekend, and then see where we end up there. But yeah, we've come a long way, like you say. So we've still got a lot to a lot to be proud of this season, regardless of what happens. And that's the most important thing. Let's have a look. Evening, James. I think we'll get playoffs. I think Bristol Rovers have got automatics. Yeah, you'd put your money on that, wouldn't you? With them being at home, and yeah, it'd be crazy to think that they wouldn't, to be honest. But then again, League Two is so unpredictable. It could be Northampton. It just depends on how the results go. But yeah, you would say so. But as we know in League Two, it's so unpredictable. I mean, only a few weeks ago, Barrow beat Forest Green 4-0. So who knows? But yeah, either way, though, the automatic spot's out of our hands now. It would take something drastic to see us finish automatically, but sadly, you just don't see it there. So it's either Bristol or Northampton, I'd say, that would go up automatically, but Bristol do look the favourites for that, like you say. So, yeah, but playoffs for us. But like I say, we've still got to get something from Forest Green to ensure of that. And like I say, we don't want to go into the game, if we do end up in the playoffs, we don't want to go into the playoffs in bad form. We want to try and go on the back end of a win against Forest Green going into it, because when you go into the playoffs in bad run of form, then doesn't really put you in good stead. So hopefully we can get the 3 points on Saturday and end the season on a high, hopefully, going into the playoffs. But yeah, I think it'll be playoffs too, James. I think let's have a look. Tim, good evening, Tim. Do you think team selection and formation cost us on Monday at Salford? Good question, Tim. That very good question. I'm not sure about the selection, to be honest. I think possibly, but the one player that we did miss massively was Stephen Quinn, because for whatever reason, when Stephen Quinn doesn't play, we struggle to play. So I know we couldn't play because of his injury, and Nigel didn't want to risk him, which is sensible. But the lineup and formation, it's hard to say. I mean, you could always look back on things and what you could have changed. But yeah, I mean, it's an hard one to say. To be honest with you, it's an hard one to really say that. But I think the one thing I would have done is I would have put Bauer in for Akins, personally speaking, because I think Bauer has been in better form than Akins personally, but like I say, when Stephen Quinn's not playing, we do miss him a lot. So, but like I say, we did have chances. We did have chances, to be fair, to win the game, and that's the most frustrating thing about it. But like when I looked at the lineup, I was quite confident. I thought that lineup that we put out, should have been enough to win the game. Personally speaking, so I wouldn't have changed too much. And just see your following comment. Why no Hewitt? I don't know why Hewitt wasn't. I don't know if it was a fitness issue or something, but yeah, I see what you're saying. But I think we can all agree, now that you mentioned that, you've just put a really good thought into my head here, Tim. James Perch isn't a fullback. I think we can all agree on that one. I see why he had to play there because of the injury, to Hewitt, but James Perch isn't a fullback; he's a centre half. But yeah, other than that, I think just the defence, for some reason, I don't know why they keep making so many errors like they have done all season. It's a frustrating thing, especially from set pieces as well. For some reason, we can't seem to defend well from set pieces. That's been another downside as well all season, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't see why he didn't start with Hewitt. Personally speaking, I'm guessing he was either arrested or something. I'm not sure. I couldn't really answer that. But good question though, Tim. To be honest with you, because I don't know that myself, so I couldn't really know what to say on that one. But I think the lineup should have got something. We could have won with that lineup, personally speaking, but it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be, unfortunately. Chris, yeah, I can see your frustration, to be fair. Also, not taking advantage of the games in hand either. Well, yeah, and that's the frustrating thing, Chris. I'm more annoyed at us than anyone else because we've had chances in games, and yeah, I know we've had officials against us in certain matches, but even then we have still created chances. And like I say, we could have been going into this Saturday's game already promoted had we taken them chances in other games. So I'm more frustrated than us with just daft defending and, like I say, not taking chances. But that's what happens when you don't take advantage. So that's just how it goes. But look, I don't want to be too critical of them because we have come far this season under Nigel in his first full season. Yes, I know there's been disappointments along the way, like there is in every season, but I mean, like I say, I don't think many of us thought we'd be in this situation come end of the season. So, I'm still optimistic. I still think if we can get into the playoffs, then there's still a chance we can go up. So, if we can get in there, then at least then we can see what happens. So, still optimistic for it, and still think we could still potentially go up, hopefully. But we'll see what happens there. But hopefully we'll be within. Stephen Quinn will be back hopefully on Saturday. Hopefully, because he's a massive miss. He is. He really is. It's such a workhorse in midfield, a leader, and we just miss him, don't we? When he don't play, Stephen Quinn, we just miss him. We really do. When he doesn't play. But yeah, like I say, one player that has really impressed me this season, and I'm sure he has a lot of other people, is Maka. I think he's been fantastic. He's, without a doubt, I think him and Elliot Hewitt have been two of our most consistent players. They really have. Like I say, I know Hewitt started off a bit slow and a bit poor, but as the season's gone along, he's really improved. And like I say, Maka has been fantastic. I think he's, in my opinion, Maka's my player of the season for me personally. Just because of how consistent he's been. He really has been. He's been completely solid for us. Right, let's get down to some of your comments. Chris, still a good season. You progressed from last season. Well, yeah. I mean, look where we finished last season. We finished near the bottom, mid-table-ish. So to be where we are, anybody would have taken being in the playoffs at that stage. Any team would. So, yeah, we have come a long way in a short space of time. So can't really complain too much, to be fair. Like I say, I can understand the frustration with fans because when you come so close to going up automatically and then you end up blowing it like we did, obviously it's going to be frustrating. But, hopefully we can just learn from their mistakes and going into the playoffs, we can just rectify that essentially. Chris, anyone can win playoffs. Well, yeah, it's a lottery, isn't it? Playoffs are one of them where, anyone can win it, essentially. Anyone can. It's, you pick the name out of the hat and see what team comes out. It's one of them, isn't it? But, still all to play for, and that's what matters. We're still a part of it, and hopefully we can get a result against Forest Green and go into it full of confidence, hope so. So anyway, guys, I want your thoughts in the comment section below on this. I've given my thoughts on, being hopeful on the Stags in the playoffs. What's your thoughts, guys? Do you think the Stags are going up? Do you think the Stags are going up this season, or do you think it's going to be another season in League Two for us? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. So, do you think this is the season that we can go up via the playoffs, or do you think we're going to fall short? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Because I've seen quite a few fans be very split on it, to be honest. There's some fans not confident of us in the playoffs, and there's others that are. So I just want your thoughts on it, guys, basically. See where you think we're going to finish come end of the season. So let us know your thoughts and where you think we'll finish come end of the season. I mean, the one thing is we haven't got the best track record when it comes to playoffs, have we? Let's be honest, we haven't. But it's got to end at some point, though, right? We can't always be bad in the playoffs. We've got to surely turn it around at some point. So let's hope we can do it this season. Because the automatics are so overrated anyway. Let's go to Wembley and do it. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments below, guys, on where you think we're going to end up at the end of this season. But looking ahead to Forest Green Rovers, obviously they've been promoted for weeks now, and it's one of them. They're still going to want to win the league title, so they're going to be on their best game, really wanting to, prove fans wrong and to see that they see themselves as champions. But like I say, with it being a sellout crowd, it's going to be a packed full house at the Field Mill. So, yeah, like I say, can't wait for that one. If you've not already seen that, guys, this game Saturday against Forest Green is completely sold out. So if you haven't already got yourself a ticket, then, you looked out sadly. But, it's completely sold out there this weekend. So make sure you've already got yourself a ticket for this weekend's game. Let's have a look at your comments, guys. Paul, good evening, Paul. I think we need to bring Ollie Clark, Ryan Sturt back for Saturday. I think Bristol Rovers will snatch last automatic place. Unfortunately, it's nice. It's a sellout crowd on Saturday as well. Ollie Clark, you mentioned there as well. He's been out a few weeks with an injury. I'm not sure in terms of his fitness, but he's on the bench at least, so I don't see why he couldn't play him. Ryan Sturck's been out for a couple of games now, so like I say, it all depends on Stephen Quinn as well. It all depends on if he's available for this weekend. I think it's a bit 50-50 at this moment in time, but I'm hoping he does come back soon, Stephen Quinn, because should we go into the playoffs, then he is a player that we desperately need back, Stephen Quinn. But Ollie Clark, club captain, he can come in and do a job if need be. He's proven that at times this season. And Ryan Sturck, we know what he's capable of on his day. So we have got options there. We have got options on the bench to change things around. And like we were saying earlier on, Bristol Rovers do look favourites to get promoted. But you never know in this crazy league. It could be Northampton that could go up in automatically. But who knows in League Two? It's so unpredictable, as we know. So it's an interesting one, isn't it, as well? So we'll see what happens. But all we know is, we had our chance and sadly we blew it. And we're just going to pick ourselves up now and just, again, try and get maximum points this weekend against Forest Green and cement ourselves in the playoffs, really. And that's all we can do, But yeah, I agree with what you last said there. Great sellout crowd as well, and hopefully that can get the players going come Saturday for the 3 points. Excuse me. Chris, I think Northampton will get job done in the end at Barrow and get final automatic promotion spot, and playoff places will be the teams already in there. Yeah, I'd say so, Chris. I looked at the table the other day and I said to my mate, I think this is how it's going to end up, to be honest with you. So yeah, I don't see it changing. But then again, anything can change in this league on the final day of the season. So that's how unpredictable this season's been at League Two. But all we can do is focus on ourselves. Like I say, it's not going to be us automatically this weekend. I think we can all agree on that, and mathematically can't see it happening. Because you can't see Bristol and Northampton not winning. You can't see that happening. So we're out of that, unfortunately. But hopefully the playoffs will remain more or less the same. Hopefully, as long as we're in the playoffs, then it doesn't matter who we get in it. But as long as we're in it, that's the most important thing, really. That's the most important thing, really. That we turn up, really. Let's have a look at more of your comments, guys. Paul, and we need a quality striker next season. That's what we've lacked this season. Well, this is a thing I don't understand, though, Paul, because we've got Danny Johnson. So my question is to Nigel, why hasn't he been playing? I mean, I know I keep banging on him about it most weeks. I'm like a broken record with Danny Johnson, But why not play Johnson more? I don't understand it. I mean, I know nobody really knows why he's not played as much as what he has, Danny Johnson. I mean, you go from scoring, 16, 17 goals at Leyton Orient last season, you can't get into a team going for promotion. I don't get it. I mean, I know Rhys Oates has been banging form this season, and Jordan Bowery's been quite good, and Akins. But I don't get why Danny Johnson's not featured much, because he is a goal scorer. So that's the question I can't understand, like why he's not been playing more, Danny Johnson, because he can score goals. But yet, you mentioned a goal scorer. We've got one. He's just not been given a chance for whatever reason. But who knows? Only Nigel Clough will know why he's not been playing Danny Johnson. And we've said so long, haven't we, on this podcast, why we've asked the question, why hasn't he been playing him? And for the life of me, I cannot understand why. But yeah, I think we've got one, Paul, but for some reason, he ain't playing him. But again, I think it just depends on... it depends on where we are next season, I think, as well. But I agree, we have lacked goals up front, bar Rhys Oates. Because I think at times Rhys Oates has carried us at times. I think in certain games, so we definitely do deserve more goals. I agree with you there. But my point I'm making is, why not play Johnson? I just can't understand it, Paul. It escapes me. It really does. Anyway, that's football for you. Chris, best time to play Forest Green, who are on the beach? Well, yeah, I mean, they've been up for weeks, haven't they? Like Exeter, they've been up now for a couple of weeks. But like I say, they're going to win that league title. So I don't expect Forest Green to... I don't expect them to completely let us play, because if you're in Forest Green's Rovers shoes and you're promoted, you want to win the league, don't you? You want to go for that league title, So I'd be very surprised if they didn't go for us this weekend, because, like I say, it's between them and Exeter, and surely you'd think they would want to go for the league title. So I think it will be a tough game, Chris. I'd be very surprised if it's not, to be honest with you. I'm hoping it is from our point of view, but I'd be very surprised because, again, if you've got the chance to go get the league title, you're going to try your best to get that. So it can go either way, though, can't it? I see what you're saying, then. But hopefully what you said there about them being on the beach is the case, and that we can just go and tank them. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in this league? But yeah, let's hope it is. Let's hope they are on the beach, and let's hope we can let's go and pummel them and get the 3 points. Paul Clough has said this week he only needs 4 to 5 players next season. He stated the squad is good enough. Well, yeah, I mean, look where we are. We've only just missed out on the automatic spot. So we don't need to go and sign loaded players. So I do agree with Nigel when he said that. I actually watched that press conference earlier that you're referring to, and I have to say I agree, because we've got a good squad as is. We just need tweaking. That's all. But the main areas I think we need to strengthen on, in my opinion, is the defence being one of them, and obviously I'd say, in my opinion, obviously up front. But the defence is definitely an area that we do need to improve on, because we need to cut out these stupid errors that we've been making. We really do. We need to have a proper solid defence. We do, because we've not, in my opinion, kept enough clean sheets and seen many games out. So, but yeah, I agree. I agree with this comment 100%. And look, Nigel's not stupid. Nigel sees what he sees, and he knows these players. He trains with them every day. He knows what they're like more than what we do. And we've got a manager there that wants to stay at the club. He wants to build things. So if we don't go up this season, then I guarantee you next season we're going to be a force. That's how confident I am under Nigel Clough. I think he knows now what's needed now for the automatics, and to say that's his first full season as manager, to get us into the in the playoffs is an amazing achievement for any manager, to be honest. And he knows what we need, and already he's got a short list of 4 to 5 players, like you say, for next season. So he knows. Clough's not stupid. Clough knows exactly what we need. Wherever we end up, he knows exactly what positions what we need. So yeah, I'm confident under Nigel. Well, regardless of where we are next season, because as Chris rightly said earlier on in the comments, we've come a long way. It's an improvement. So can't really complain too much on that, really. Good cup of tea after a long day. There you go, Paul. One of the top comments of the night for you. How will Forest Green fans cope having to eat meat pies? Well, only the same way that we have to cope by eating their vegan food at their stadium. So, it's one of them. They have to make do with what they've got, sadly, because there's no other alternatives, to my knowledge. So, yeah, they'll have to make do with it. I mean, come off it. They're already promoted, so sodom, really. They'll have to make do with what they've got, or bring their own stuff, really. So, sodom. But I don't know, but yeah, listen, all we can do on Saturday is just focus on ourselves. Yeah, I know it's frustrating. We've not gone up automatically, and I wish we was talking about going up automatically, but we've only got ourselves to blame, in my opinion, because we've been at times this season, not just recently, but most of this season, defensively, just made mistakes, and we have had enough chances to kill certain games off, but again, I don't want to be too critical because, we have come close and, we should be in automatic spots with the amount of chances and what have you that I've just said. But, I think any Mansfield fan would have taken the playoffs come start of the season. I know I certainly would have done. I think if anybody would have turned around to you and said that we'll be in the playoffs, would you take it? I think 9 out of 10 people would. I certainly would, definitely. Because you don't always know how it's going to be with a new team, but you imagine it with a couple of more auditions come next season. If we don't go up, then we'll be a bloody force next season. I generally do believe that, But let's focus on this weekend and let's see what happens afterwards, and then we'll get into that regardless of what happens. Paul may need 2 keepers. Yeah, I think we will do, to be honest with you. I think we will, because I don't see Marek Stepp being kept on, personally speaking. I don't really see Nigel keeping him on, which is a kind of a shame because he has become a really good character, Marek. He's not played, hardly any football this season for us, but to be as positive as he has been on the bench, he's been almost like a fan, hasn't he, from the bench, just cheering the teams on, joining in with the fans. So, I'm really going to be sad to see Marek go, to be fair, because I just don't see Nigel keeping him on. And obviously Nathan Bishop will be loaned back to Man United, gone back to Man United. So, and Nathan Bishop's not going to come down to League Two again. He won't. He's destined for better things. He's way too good for this level, Nathan Bishop. So I think it's fair to say, with complete confidence, I don't see Nathan Bishop and Marek Stepp coming back next season. But this is what I mean. It depends where we are next season. So should we get promoted to League One, touch wood, that we do, then maybe we can get Nathan Bishop back on loan. But if we do remain in League Two next season, then I don't think that'll be possible, personally speaking, because Man United will want to loan him out at a higher level. But it all depends on where we are next season. And again, that can change so many things. I mean, Nigel's got a list of 4 or 5 players that he wants to sign next season, but should we go up, he might change his mind and think, right, we might need other players from higher up leagues to try and compete. So it just depends where we are, to be fair. But I don't see them keepers being with us next season, personally speaking. I just don't see it. But it depends where we are. That's what, like I say to people, it just depends on what league you're in. Excuse me. So, but we'll have to see on that one. But yeah, like I say, guys, for those that's just tuning into the podcast, let us know your thoughts in the comments below on where do you think we'll end this season, if you're just tuning in to watch this podcast. And going into the Forest Green game, we've just got to go for it. We've got to give it a roll. Got to sell out crowd. We're the home team. We've just got to give it everything we've got, and that's all you can ask for. And I think mathematically, a point should see us into the playoffs anyway, but you don't want a point, you want 3 points. So you want to end the season on a high going into the playoffs with coming off the back end of a win rather than a defeat going into the playoffs. So, let's hope we can do that this weekend. But like I say, it's disappointing, obviously, because of how the Salford game went. But the main thing is we can make amends for that this weekend, and make sure we can. Make sure we're in the playoffs, essentially. But yeah, like I say, we've just got to just concentrate on ourselves essentially and not worry about any other team. I'm just looking at the playoffs now, and obviously, Exeter Forest Green's been up for weeks, and Northampton and Bristol, you'd say it would be between them two. It would be between them two, if anyone. And obviously, in the playoffs at the minute, it's between obviously Bristol, us, Port Vale, and Swindon. So I don't see it changing from that point of view. So I think all we'll need mathematically would just be a point, I think, to guarantee a spot in the playoffs, or we might not even need that, to be fair. But I think we've still got to go out for the win regardless. So we've still got to go out and try and win the game. That's what we've got to try and do. But that's all we can do. Just focus on ourselves and that. But you'd fancy Bristol going in that third automatic spot. You can't see Scunthorpe beating Bristol Rovers, can you? You just can't see it happening. But like I say, I'm more frustrated than at us for just blowing it. Essentially, I'm just frustrated how it was in our hands and we had them games in hands to try and capitalise on it, and we just didn't. Simply put, we just didn't capitalise on that, and we find ourselves in this position. But it's one of them. Anyone's game in the playoff, and I think this time going into the playoffs, I think we are more prepared to compete in them. We've got the players for it, we've got the manager for it. So anything can happen. Anything can happen. But as long as we can win on Saturday, and then just let everything else take care of itself. But Forest Green, they're going to want to come and win the league title. They're not going to just come and lay down and die, I don't think. I'd be very surprised if they did. But you know what? I'm looking forward to this weekend's game. I think we all are. Sellout crowd, playing top of the league. And we know a win will guarantee us a spot in the playoffs, it's unfortunate that we're not going to automatically, obviously. That's what we all wanted. But sadly, it's not going to happen now. But, we've still got to get a win, in my opinion, just to try and, try and go into the playoffs off the back end of a good result and go in there full of confidence, really. So it's still all to play for, guys. It is. It's still all to play for. But like I say, we've just got to go in there, not fear anybody, to be honest. I mean, if I'm being honest with you, when I look at the teams in the playoffs now, and this is no disrespect to any of these teams, I think we can more than match most of them, personally speaking. I think on our day, we've shown that we can match teams, so that's never been an issue, really, to be honest. But again, we just need to play to our strengths and let the other teams worry about us, essentially. That's all we can do, to be fair, and hopefully that'll be enough fun to see us over the line, really. But like I say, we've just got to dust ourselves down, really, and what have you. Let's have a look at some of your comments. By the way, guys, as well, on next Monday evening, I'm going to be doing a live stream with none other than ex-Stag Les Robinson. So about 7:30 on Monday, I'm going to be doing a live stream with Les Robinson. So you're more than welcome to join in on that as well. So 7:30 next Monday, I'm going to be talking to ex-Stag Les Robinson. Going to be talking a lot about the promotion winning season 20 years ago, and among his thoughts on Mansfield now, just his football career in general. I'm also hoping to interview Wayne Cordin soon as well. I'm just waiting to hear back on a date. So I've got some good players lined up as well, some good ex-Mansfield players to discuss their times on as well. And like as always, guys, I'll put a reminder of that on the group page so none of you miss it. Or even if you do miss the live stream of it, it's going to be on the page anyway. So regardless, you'll still be able to watch the interviews in full. Like I say, because I'm not going to charge people for watching anything. I'm just going to carry on doing my own thing, and giving you guys the best content I possibly can, essentially, and just giving you everything I can. MTFC related, to be honest with you, and hopefully in the summertime I'll have a lot more player interviews lined up, but all my main focus is on Forest Green, to be honest, so just been trying to focus on that more than anything, and hopefully seeing us in the playoffs and then seeing what happens there. But yeah, there's so much exciting things I've got lined up for the page that I really can't wait to share with you guys. So as always, guys, thanks for your support. Thanks for tuning into the podcast tonight. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Tim, Ross, James, Danny, Neil, and anyone else there that's been watching me or tuned in and commented. Thanks as always. Appreciate the support as always, guys. You know, and like I say, we've just got to stick together in this. We've come this far together now, and we've just got to forget about Salford and the other games where we've basically blown the automatic. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's annoying. Trust me, nobody feels more frustrated than me. But we've just got to forget that now. Focus on Forest Green and trying to get the 3 points against them. And then hopefully then going into the playoffs, we can go in there full of confidence and try and get that one step further and do it via the playoffs. So this season, in my opinion, is still far from over from our point of view. And like I say, we've just got to dust ourselves down, go for it on Saturday and see where it takes us in the playoffs. And that's all we can do. But let's stick together, guys. We've come this far. You know, the town's behind the club. You know, that shows that with the sellout crowd, home and away these past few weeks. And let's keep it up because we are Mansfield and we've come this far. And let's go all the way and let's do it. Because this season has got so many more twists and turns yet. Anything can happen in the playoffs. And it's about time the luck changed from our point of view for a change. It's about bloody time our luck changed. So anyway, guys, thanks as always. Appreciate the support as always. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I know I certainly will be shortly when I go outside. And let's hope we all have an amazing weekend where we're talking about 3 points against Forest Green Rovers and we're going into the playoffs full of confidence. So thanks as always, guys. Appreciate you taking your time out. And I shall speak to you all next week where hopefully we'll be talking about seeing us in the playoffs. So yeah, thanks again, guys. Appreciate the time. Take care. All the best. Up the Stags.